Let me see another code example of this. So here we have a simple code by which we can use the function to modify the referenced variable value. First we have IOStream, then we have std, then we have this function. So we are defining this function for the main operator. We can also define this below the main function, but it's a good practice to define your function above the main function. So we have this simple swap function inside of which we have two variable and we have reference variable. So you can see it have type integer, and then we have this add operator, then we have our first variable, and then we have our second referenced variable. So inside this function body, first we will create a temporary variable of integer type and initialize it to the first parameter, and then we will initialize the first to the second parameter, and then we will initialize second to the temp, which is holding the value of this first parameter. Now let's move to the main function, inside of which we are defining these two integer variable. First one is a, which have value of 3, and second one is b, which have value of 3. Then we will call the swap function and pass this a and b as a parameter to this void function. So this is function call. It will stop the execution of code at this line and will transfer the code flow to this swap function, inside of which it will first the first variable holding the value of let me just type it. So initially the value of this first is 2, and the value of second is 3, and first we initialize the value of first to this temp. So now temp have the value of second we assign the value of second to the first. So now first have the value of 3, and then lastly we assign the value of temp to the our second variable. So now second have the value of 2. So you can see it has swapped both the values, and as we are passing them as reference to the swap function, so any changes made inside the swap function will affect these original two variable which are defined inside this main function. Then we will see out this to see what's the changing are. So you can see now a is equivalent to 3 and b is equivalent to 2, just like that. So let's take a look at the second application of reference variable, avoiding a copy of large data structure. Imagine a function that has to receive the large object. If we pass it without reference, a new copy of it is created, which causes the wastage of CPU time and memory. So we can use reference to avoid this. So basically what's I'm trying to say is, when you pass some variable as a parameter to the function, so they passed as a copy, and any changes made to these variable which we are passing as parameter to the function will not affect the original